Welcome, everybody. We are live once again. This is the Overwatch PIT Championships NA Group B, day number 5. This is the final day of group play, and then starting tomorrow, we'll be getting our playoffs underway. But these final 3 matches are what matter here for North America. I am Jamerson. Joining me once again, it is going to be Herix. Herix, how are you doing?
Doing good as always, man. Really excited. Last day for group stages. I mean, we start the playoffs up tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm really excited, man. Really got some good matches to finish things off today. And I mean, we're going to be down to the wire actually at the end because the last match is actually determining who's going to be even in the playoffs. So really excited for these ones.
Yep. Our first match of the day, it is going to be Team Liquid facing off against LG.Loyal. Now, this is also an important match because it is going to be very important for seeding as we do move forward into the playoffs. I believe currently Team Liquid are standing at 3-1, LG.Loyal at 2 and 2-2, I believe. Let me double check, actually.
So starting things off at the top, we got Rogue at 4-0. Team Liquid right now, who is going to be in our first match, are sitting at 3-1 in second place after their loss yesterday to Rogue in that match. Now, LG.Loyal here is going to be sitting at 2-1. So they've only played 3 of their matches through so far. They're the only team right now that has only played 3 matches. And they're going to be playing 2 today to finish out their sets in the group stage to basically determine determine their seeding because they've pretty much already clinched it here, their ability to actually go into it. So they're basically just trying to find out if they're going to be going second, third, or perhaps even potentially fourth. No, I think they already beat out Tempo. So I think they're basically stuck in third, but they could take second from Liquid here if they win out both their games. But obviously, trying to take on Rogue, that's going to be a tough contender to be able to steal that spot away. But nonetheless, moving on through, it's Tempo Storm at 1-3, FaZe Clan tied with them at 1-3 as well. And we're going to be having a match between them at the very end of the day that will come. It's currently slotted at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. I don't think it would take that long to get there, but nonetheless, that is going to be our last match of the day. And then, of course, you guys get paid. I've finished out all their matches now at 1-4, and essentially all but gotten rid of their hopes and dreams of making it to the playoffs. But nonetheless, looking at this first game here, which of course is going to be LG.Loyal versus Team Liquid, very, very tough matchup between these two teams. And it's honestly one of the matches that I've been looking forward to for a while now, given Liquid's performance and how they've been able to win out a lot of the games here. I mean, as we already said, they're already sitting at 3-1. Their only loss right now is against Rogue, but they have dropped maps. They have dropped maps both to Tempo, Storm, and you guys get paid pretty recently as well. So could be a pretty good match, as of course LG.Loyal is sitting now at 2-1, and they've only lost to Tempo at this point. I'm kind of on the side of Team Liquid at the moment, and we're going into Eichenwald as our first map. But what do you think, Jamerson?
I'm going to actually have to give this one to LG.Loyal. Spree's been playing fantastically on his Zarya so far, and there were a lot of weaknesses shown on the side of Team Liquid in their matchup against Rogue yesterday, and it might just carry on over to today. But I mean, we are going to be on Eichenwald, which we haven't seen as much. I don't think Liquid have played Eichenwald yet, but
both teams have played Eichenwald. So Liquid actually played it on their first day against Tempo Storm, and they wound up winning that one. And then LG.Loyal played it I think twice. They've played it against FaZe Clan and they lost 0-1. They weren't able to actually cap that first point out. And then on I think 2 days ago they played it against You Guys Get Paid, and they wound up winning that one after getting the first point. So they haven't actually, LG.Loyal hasn't actually secured that second objective quite yet on Eichenwald, whereas Liquid currently has, and it was against Tempo Storm. So we'll have to see if maybe that weighs into it at all. But both teams have played it, and it's actually LG.Loyal who has not yet capped out that second point. So we'll have to see again if that is going to actually kind of mean anything in this matchup. Obviously, LG.Loyal with some, I guess both rosters with kind of some new stuff going on inside of their rosters, but I think more new, more fresh is the LG.Loyal changes. Obviously, we have Vilan, who came over from, I believe, Method, and then Olba, of course, from OW Kings. He's been on some other teams since then as well, as he's been kind of bounced around, typically actually staying in the American teams. I see him sometimes in the AG. I think he was in there one time, as well as the Hallows End tournament. He was playing for a team called Ban the Weebs as well. So this guy has been bouncing around a little bit, and now finally kind of found his way onto LG.Loyal as they were looking to shake up their roster after some rocky performances, I guess. And these two guys have come in and I think really kind of invigorated the roster, where they're performing again and just kind of trying to set a new pace for themselves. And I guess this is a great match for them to do that. But of course, Liquid as well, one of those teams that really hasn't been doing so well throughout their history in Overwatch so far, but I think have now kind of picked things back up here. Shatter 2K pickup has been big for them, and these guys have a lot of great weapons on their roster. They've kept AZK through thick and thin. Mezzer has definitely kind of stepped up, I think, as of late, and he's always been a good performer, but I think really kind of in this group stage, he's been stepping things up a lot for his team. And he's a big reason, in my opinion, why I think that, Liquid has been able to perform a lot better. But certainly, I think Shatter 2K had the most to do with that, as his Genji play has been really, really solid for these guys and really, really consistent. Now, moving into Eichenwald here, Jamerson, there's a lot of different options here for both sides. I imagine we're going to be seeing some triple tank coming out, as well as some dive throughout this map, but we'll have to see as things progress past that first point what teams decide to flex to after that point.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing out of Spree on the side of LG.Loyal for their defense, pretty much bread and butter for them. This is just comfort pick. Spree, of course, going over to that Zarya, and Ube going on to that Hog. Definitely not unheard of. His Genji is also fantastic. I imagine he's going to be busting that out during their offense with Oba here. Is going to be on that Soldier 76, and he's going to be the linchpin of this defense as that sole DPS player here. Well, we've seen a lot of teams try to approach the 76 play pretty differently here on Eichenwald.
We'll have to see what happens as, of course, Olba right now getting ready to get into position, but they are going to be running that triple tank strategy, and it looks like we are going to be seeing, we'll have to see. I mean, AZK, I'm pretty sure, is going to be sitting on that Tracer, and we will likely see either Shatter or ID coming out on that Pharah, with Mezzer more than likely on the Winston, and we'll see a dive, but we'll have to see if they want to switch things up. Okay, Shatter actually going over to the Genji instead, and right now we're seeing Mezzer make that swap. I'm not sure if ID is going to be sticking with this, but he is actually going to be sticking onto the Widow here. So he's looking for that opening pick, and gets a shot off, but not an actual kill. Man, that was actually pretty close to being able to get themselves into a nice 6v5 here.
Yeah, and especially if he took out Hidan there. But right now, it's going to be very important as the offense pushes forward to make sure that they're playing properly around Dehang's Zenyatta here. Dehang, we've seen him go off on this Zenyatta before. And, we'll see if they do play around the orbs properly. They're just going to go ahead and back off, break the line of sight. Hook comes in. That's going to be Ube finishing on Mezzer.
And that was actually really good play from Ube, and he's actually a really, really good Roadhog actually for these guys. This is a roster LG.Loyal here who have actually two pretty solid Roadhogs to play with. I mean, Olba actually has some pretty good performances on that particular character as well so far, but nonetheless, it's Ube shutting these guys down and really stepping his game up here as he's been able to shut down Mezzer so far, at least in this first push. And that's really all you want against a dive, is your Roadhog to be able to shut down that Winston.
All right, so right now, all the space given in the world to the side of Team Liquid, but finally, it is going to be LG.Loyal being a little bit more aggressive here on the defense, but Dragon Blade comes out, and then we do have Shatter in the back line. He does get booped away, so he's not going to be able to get this reset. It's going to be Mezzer that goes down first.
But it's back and forth here as Dehang actually going to be able to pull off that Transcendence, and they are winning this point here, Jamerson. They are slowly ripping these guys down very, very slowly, very efficiently. We got Discords coming out. Spree is going to be falling there, and that's going to open the site up a lot as, of course, Spree on that Zarya has been very, very prominent on the point, and now without him, they are going to be falling off. We do see two of the remaining tanks, actually, as they are going to be backing off, and that's going to be the point now as Liquid caps that out.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to just feed on ultimates. They do have the advantage currently. They're sitting on that sound barrier along with the whole hog and that Graviton Surge as the high ground is already being contested. Mezzer jumps on up. Super Fluke getting whittled down just a little bit by the Tesla cannon. Ube once again inside the castle with the great hook onto AZK, and AZK has been having a difficult time so far in this Tracer.
Yeah, they haven't been able to do much with him so far, but that's not enough for him to want to really do any swaps or anything like that. I mean, the Tracer at any point could turn things back around and kind of regain his composure and stuff, but we're going to be seeing some aggression come out, and a stick coming out onto Olba is going to be shutting him down, but Ube has already come up with a couple of kills there with the whole hog, and they actually do wind up making that play, but ID now coming through, and they're trying, Team Liquid, to come back from this spawn and just turn this fight, and they do. So not a whole lot gained from two ultimates used there by LG.Loyal, as they do get a lot of kills, but off of the respawn, it's Liquid that come up with the win on that fight.
Yeah, we were just talking about how AZK wasn't having the greatest of games so far, and then immediately afterwards, that caster scares comes right on in with that double stick, and once again, the high ground as Shatter pushes forward. He's going to go ahead and bait out the sound barrier. He does fall to Oba, who did have to use that tactical visor. Now he's pushing forward. Lots of ultimates committed here, but the payload has made great distance on the side of Team Liquid. Now they are fighting all the way on over. Super Fluke getting dropped down pretty low. Transcendence is going to get popped by the hang. Rafa's the one that's going to finish off Super Fluke, and now they're on the hunt for Hidan. It is going to be Winston and Dehang jumping right on top of him, and now they are starting to clean them up one by one. Another stick coming up from AZK, and he is coming alive.
Yeah, Olba threw that fight there for his team with his inability to actually convert that kill. He needed to finish off the hang and just was unable to find him when he was at very low HP. I mean, I think he actually could have finished it off with a melee, but he just missed it somehow, and because of that, the Transcendence came out, and we just saw the momentum shift very heavily in favor of Team Liquid, and now they're just stampeding all over the side of LG.Loyal here, and it's definitely not looking like it's anywhere close to stopping Jamerson, and we're seeing them just take kill after kill after kill, and now we're seeing Hidan in a very, very peculiar position and very aggressive onto the point for some reason, even though it's in dead time. I mean, nothing gained at all there other than ultimate charge on the side of Liquid. Very weird performance so far, actually, by the defensive side of LG.Loyal.
Yeah. Once again, they do have that Graviton and Whole Hog to work with for this next fight, but we've seen already here in Ikeval, they've been having difficulty closing out fights, even though they've had the ultimate advantage. Pulse Bomb came on out, Super Fluke immediately gets healed right on up. Here's the Graviton once again, as Super Fluke jumps into the back with Spree to clean up the hang and Rafa, but still the fight's going on the payload. We got the Earth Shatter coming out, Super Fluke connects it onto Messer. Messer will survive though, a Shatter coming up with that Dragon Blade. That's a 3K for him. Man, once again, the ultimate advantage largely in favor of LG.Loyal, but they haven't been able to finish out these fights against Team Liquid. They've just scrapping back and forth here, Rix.
But the problem here for them is that while there's not too many options for Liquid, they have the exact option that they want, and that's Dehang right there on the Transcendence, and he's going to be able to pop that. That's right actually into VLAN's sound barrier, and we see the nano boost coming out as well, but it's just not enough. A kill has come out onto Messer, and that's going to be able to slow them down a little bit, but if the kills keep going for Team Liquid, then Liquid should be able to count this out, and that is the case. 2:28 on the clock, and LG.Loyal nowhere to be found on the defensive side here.
Yeah, I feel like... So Spree, he's a fantastic Zarya, right? We've seen him get Graviton after Graviton after Graviton, high energy. That's no problem. The problem is that he's looking for these high-value targets that he overextends himself and like makes the fight way too far away from his team. As we saw in that last team fight and the one beforehand, they just had to try and reach so far to try and get that Graviton that at that point, who was it? Shatter along with AZK just had free reign in the back line, taking out the supports. Man, this is like your star player just working against you at this point.
And now the question is basically at this point, given the fact that we saw 3 points scored there by Liquid and two past performances by LG.Loyal on this map have resulted in them not able to actually convert that second point. I mean, is this going to be the first time? Are they going to be able to make a run to the end of the map for the first time so far in this group stage after 2 games already been played on this particular map? Or are they going to fall short and drop the first map? And, you know, if they do wind up dropping this map, moving on into that second, then, you know, we might see a King's Row come out. I mean, they're obviously not afraid of Ilios either, but, I mean... if you're LG.Loyal right now, if you want to be kind of holding onto your spot and trying to steal it away from Liquid at the moment and move on to that second place position, going up against Rogue next, you really want to be able to win this game out pretty convincingly, and it's been nothing close to that so far in this matchup. Now moving on into their attacking phase, we are going to be seeing the dive coming out more than likely from these guys, as Olba very likely to make that swap over the Pharah. But look at this on the side of the fence. It is going to be a 2-tank strat here and a 1 support, and that's Rafa actually going off of the Lucio, and he's going to be over on the Torbjorn instead to defend against the dive at the moment.
Yeah, not uncommon, but Dahang's going to have a very difficult time, especially against a dive composition as that solo Ana healer. He's going to need the backup of his team to really keep him alive. As Spree's already taking out Rafa there, and Shatter, oh no, unfortunately, kills himself, and now they are onto the point. The offense says LG.Loyal pushing forward. They've already got the man advantage, and once again, far in the skies, there's no one to deal with him. Actually, ID will jump up on up, take him out. Measure goes for this charge. He does not quite connect, but they are already on the point. They've already got 1 tick on the side of LG.Loyal as they try to focus down Measure, but the Hang is still alive here. He needs to be the main focus. You can't allow that healer to stay alive. Stick comes out. That's going to be Spree finishing off the Hang, but the Hang was able to run into him to get that trade.
Still, I mean, this is very back and forth, but finally Ube going to be able to come through with 2 very clutch kills. That's the tanks being taken out now. And now, given the fact that those guys are out, it's going to be free reign for the Dragon Blade as it does get pulled out by Ube. He's looking for these kills, and they look like they're just going to be dropping out here. And Shatter 2K is going to be taken out there finally by Super Fluke. And very slow attack so far. Nano Boost going to come out to Hang, who was not dealt with initially. Ube just jumps right in his face and finds that kill very easily, looking a lot different than their first attack. And ID unable to get onto the point. They are going to lose control. And now first cap already for LG.Loyal with a lot of time to work with here, and certainly looking like they're very poised to take that second objective here, Jamerson.
Yeah, mistimed biotic nade coming out from Dahang there. He threw it right into a deflect. It could have gone much differently if he had just waited a half second. His AZK already pushed up all the way towards that second spawn. Now they do have to be careful. Their aggression on the side of LG.Loyal starting to get punished now. There's only a few members here on the payload. Now, Team Liquid, they have regrouped. They are on the payload.
And that's going to be ID dropping out of the mech. They should be able to take that kill pretty easily. And we already saw Velon actually taking him out. But nonetheless, Spree coming alive, finding a couple of kills. And that's going to keep the payload moving now. And looking at this aggression that's coming out, they should be able to find a couple more kills. And that's one onto Shatter right there, just to secure the spacing between them and that spawn of the defensive side. And Olba just making sure to protect that. We do see the spawns coming back up, a couple of ults coming as well, but Hidan right now has actually generated that ultimate here for the Transcendence, which is going to be big for them moving forward as they have a lot more options. Olba did just die out, but they might actually still be able to keep this pushing, even though it is going to be a 5v6. Ube actually already finding some kills with the Dragon Blade, and again, they're just on cleanup duty here.
Yeah, take a look at the backline defense coming out to AZK. Try to jump in the back there, but unfortunately he had to deal with the Hang. And I believe Spree even came back to help out and peel for his support. So great team play coming out so far from LG.Loyal here on their offense. Now, we do have Measure pushing out from the right-hand room, and ID has made his way on out. But they've got to be careful. Barrage is going to be committed there. He only gets the kill onto Shatter, but it's going to be Ube starting to get the resets. Got 2 kills off of that. Self-destruct comes on out. Only catches Velon, but that might just be enough as AZK finds the kill onto Super Fluke. Now it's going to be a 3v1 fight. It's all down to ID to try and stall this out for as long as possible as Shatter has come in. He done actually walks off the ledge there, though.
Yeah, he just literally walked right off of it. But we will see Shatter actually coming alive with 2 kills, and with that kill off on Ube as well, they are going to be able to push these guys off. 2.5 minutes remain, and obviously that's going to amount to at least 3 fights, probably closer to 4 or 5, just depending on how these go. But nonetheless, we will see the side of Team Liquid holding that high ground, getting ready now. Olba did just use his ultimate in that last fight, but actually was taken out very, very early on. We'll have to see, unless it was Shatter. It might have been Shatter actually that I saw. I think he just swapped to the Genji, but nonetheless, we will see a very, very long delay happening, despite the fact that AZK actually did just die. Very long delay waiting for this attack to come back. Ube ready with that Dragon Blade once again here, and getting contested a little bit, but not taking any damage, at least initially here.
Yeah, Super Fluke's going to go ahead and jump on up. The Hang gets stuck with that pulse bomb. He goes down, and now Transcendence is going to get popped by Hidan. And now we do have the sound barrier on the side of Team Liquid, but their health's still pretty low. They're not getting healed up. We do have the Primal Rage coming up from Measure, and he's got the battle on the bridge. Ube almost got knocked off, but he had his dash to get back in. Dragonblade comes on out. It's once again AZK trying his best to save this team fight, but it's going to be Shatter to clean it up, taking out Super Fluke. And now, a minute and 20 seconds left on the clock for LG.Loyal. They've been really staunched here on the bridge portion. And it came down to a lot of different scattered team fights coming out from them. I mean, before this team fight, we saw them try to take control of the castle by pushing in from that low ground, but they allowed their supports to get caught out in the background. Now, they really do need to group up and move together as a death ball before they commit to these fights. Now, once again, they are onto the high ground. Super Fluke immediately is going to get purpled. Dragonblade comes out from Shatter. He's got the nano, but he doesn't have the reset quite yet. He's trying to find a second target. He finds Hedon, and now it's also AZK coming in. They're going to clean them up again, and this offense once again shut down immediately.
So last fight now for LG.Loyal, and again, the narrative of them just not being able to convert that second point, just being shut down at the bridge time and time again, or even at the first point for a long time as well, is just coming through for the third time in a single group stage here. The third time that we've seen them on this map, and now we are seeing a nice pulse bomb come out. Olba going to be able to secure that kill, and although we do see Team Liquid coming through, it is going to be LG.Loyal looking like they are controlling this fight. It's basically up to Shatter now, who is one of the only people left, and he's coming back on the back end. ID going to be able to find a kill onto Spree, though, with the self-destruct, Jamerson.
How did that happen? How did that happen? Measure put down his barrier. He was in great position, but unfortunately now we do have the Primal Rages coming out from both Winston Kaiju battle on the bridge, and it's going to be Super Fluke trying his best to get rid of ID now, but now he's all by himself here. Oba coming in with that whole hog, but it's getting largely eaten up by that defense matrix. AZK is easily. Dragonblade Shatter 2K with the 2K himself. We'll clean that up. There's the third one. And this is going to be Team Liquid putting a complete stop to LG.Loyal here on Nike Vault.
Oh man, Shatter. This is why they picked this man up. This is it exactly. I mean, this guy just completely ran through the attack there and was able to save that. I mean, that was really just ID using that self-destruct out of desperation to hold onto his mech so he could just stall for a little bit longer, and Measure coming back into that fight. But other than that, it was just Shattered running around at the very end, be able to find those kills and be able to contest alongside ID. And he came in right here, and you can see in the play of the game, able to come through and not only help shut down Olba with that whole hog with a nice deflect, but also with a single swipe of his blade, taking out both supports, who would have been able to keep Spree up for a little bit longer. I mean, maybe not long enough to actually hold on, but certainly it would have helped them out. And now it is going to be Team Liquid with a 1-0 lead on the series, moving now into that second match. And of course, things not looking as good for LG.Loyal at the moment. And the question is going to become, you know, which map do they want to go? And we already talked about it before, how they're usually pretty likely to take a map like King's Row, but they also might be able to take something like Ilios. And despite the fact that we did see some interesting stuff from Loyal. I mean, we already saw LG.Loyal actually, like Hedon falling off the map, just walking straight off of it. Granted, I mean,
he acknowledged it himself. He saw the LOL in chat. I mean,
but nonetheless, like aside from that, their defensive side just was very, very poor, I think, on Eichenwald. Yeah. They just let Liquid run through them. They were running on. We saw, I think it was actually Hedon as well that walked back up onto the point as Anna when it was in dead time as the gate was being plowed down. So he was contesting the point, giving free ult charge for literally nothing in their favor. So instead of just jumping off or just running back or something else, I mean, either one of those options would have been a good option. But a mistake there, and a lot of mistakes actually on the side of LG.Loyal so far. But now moving into the next map, we talked about how it was going to be more than likely either King's Row or Ilios, and they have actually chosen King's Row here. Spree went ahead and called that one out, and we'll have to see what side they want to go on. But we'll be getting into that second map in just a moment. Now, going on to King's Row here, LG.Loyal definitely feels pretty strong about this map, but their last performance on this map was against You Guys Get Paid, a team that is now in last place in the grouping. And they won it 2-2, or I guess 3-2. But still, a performance like that, when you're going against a team like You Guys Get Paid, you want to be able to basically kind of trounce a team like that. Granted, that was, I believe, KSF's first day. coming in for the team as well. But and certainly I think that's the strongest version of the roster that we've seen so far in the group stages from You Guys Get Paid at the moment. But the last time we saw them before that was against FaZe, and they won that 3-2. They were able to go the distance that time. So I think LG.Loyal will be able to put up more of a contest on this particular map. But Liquid actually has shown that they're not too bad either. They're definitely very strong on attack, but we'll have to see if their defense is actually going to be able to close things out this time. I mean, certainly looked very good at the bridge stage of Eichenwald. And I'm going to be taking Liquid here once again on a little bit of an upset on Kings Row, just to be able to make it a 2-0 here and have Liquid actually sitting at 4-1 for the standings here if they actually take this.
Yeah, that performance on Eichenwald left a lot to be desired on the side of LG.Loyal. Like you had mentioned, their defense just really fell apart there. And generally on Eichenwald, you know, finishing the map is great. Finishing the map with time, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, that's fantastic. And unfortunately, LG.Loyal weren't able to even come close to that. But now it is going to be Kings Row, just a staple map. Everyone's played this. You know, we've had different approaches so far, and a lot of teams really favoring once the point A is given up, just holding by that choke point and just trying to play that early defense there and get a second fight before the payload gets pushed all the way to that checkpoint. But now it is going to be Team Liquid once again starting off on the attacking side. Now we'll see if ID tries to go for that Widowmaker like he had on Eichenwald. This is another one of those maps that Widowmakers do come out quite frequently. And looking at the defense, it looks like LG.Loyal are going to run that exact same composition that they had on Eichenwald defense.
So running the triple tank here with Olba going over to the Soldier, a pretty standard triple tank. Certainly does wonders, I would say, on Kings Row, and not a surprise to see these guys running this, as of course, again, a roster with two pretty solid Roadhogs would definitely want to be using that, and we've seen already some good stuff happening on the side of Ube so far. They were able to shut down the jumps from Mezzer at least one time, and almost two actually, just with that Roadhog alone, so I think that definitely feels good for these guys. Now the question is, are they going to be able to stop it for a little bit longer? I think they're going to want more time off the clock after that first push, because once Liquid gets things going, they've shown that they have no intention, I mean, no desire at all to stop, and they have the firepower to back that kind of stuff up. So once the first point conversion actually happens, we'll have to see how they pivot into that second point and into the street phase. Actually, if the first point conversion even happens, sorry.
Yeah, ID already swapping off. He is going to be picking up that Soldier 76 now. Shatter dropping pretty low. He's got to be careful now. AZK trying his best to avert the attention away from the front line here. He is on the high ground. No one quite there to contest him as Oba is sitting on the low ground. Here comes a dive out of Team Liquid. They are into the back. Super Fluke has to charge back to his teammates. Now we do have the standoff here on the point.
And Rafa going to be caught out there. And that's been a consistent thing happening, actually, on the side of Liquid, is Rafa dying out and then creating a 5v6 a lot of the times in these team fights. Now we're going to be seeing LG.Loyal actually wrapping around here, jumping into the backline. That's going to open up things for them to take out, to hang in the back, but that's not going to actually happen. Ube falls there, and they give up that easy positioning to take out the Zenyatta, and they don't take the kill. And now, with Shatter still on the point, we do see Spree actually nano boosted up, taking Shatter 2K down pretty low here. And now the healing coming out onto Shatter 2K. They actually do manage to now convert these kills, and I have to say, a lot of that came down to the fact that they had an easy opportunity to deal with that Zenyatta, and they just didn't take it.
Yeah, I like the idea that they actually had there, wrapping through the hotel, try to catch out Rafa once he does get on the respawn once again, cut him off from the rest of his team. But at that point, yeah, they just started falling apart there on the defense. Team Liquid already pushing forward here, but we do have the majority as the Drive-Down Blade does come on out. Spree gets once again into the back line for that Graviton Surge, but overreaching once again and baiting his team into these really bad team fights. Shatter 2K cleans up 2 kills there by the end of it. Payload still getting pushed forward by Rafa. Shadow's going to find another reset onto Hedon, but Ube will finally clean up the hang, but that's not going to be enough as Rafa, with a nice right click, will finish him off.
And Shatter actually jumping over that last dash from Ube definitely looked pretty cool in my in my opinion. But nonetheless, that's Liquid winning out the second fight now. And although the first was a little bit back and forth, that one did not look like it at all. And now Super Plute getting pretty close to having that Earth Shatter. That's going to be big, but we'll have to make sure that he tries to get as much as he can out against this dive. That's going to be all over the place. And we already see Olba coming out with the Tactical Visor. They already did find 2 kills here to push Liquid back. And not a lot committed. Not a lot had to be committed. It was just that one Tactical Visor coming out from Olba to be able to push these guys back. And Shatter 2 actually making the swap over to that Roadhog now.
Yeah, one of the major differences though here, LG.Loyal, they've got their Reinhardt, they've got the Earth Shatter. There's going to be nothing to block it except for Mezer's barrier, so he's got to play that very conservatively. Once that cooldown's down, look for Super Plute to try and get a huge shatter.
We'll have to see. I think that Mezer's going to try to play this smart and not try to pull out the barrier all too soon. The barrier does come down. AZK with a nice setup there and does land the stick, and that's going to be huge for them because they don't have to worry about that Earth Shatter at all anymore. And Team Liquid definitely get out of this one very, very nicely here. Shatter 2K still able to find 2 kills, and even though he's not on that Genji, he is still proven to be just as lethal. Team Liquid cleaning that fight up with ease and shutting down that Earth Shatter so nicely.
Yeah, Mezer did a great job. He threw the projected barrier, or the barrier, right on top of him. That bubble just right in the middle of Super Pluke. And then also to follow up, coming up from AZK with that pulse bomb. And once again, AZK making Super Pluke's job so difficult here as that Reinhardt player. They're going to be able to gain that checkpoint on the side of Team Liquid. And they're going to force LG.Loyal all the way back to their spawn once again.
And we do see Ube just pushed back. Mezer going to be jumping in with AZK. The pulse bomb is at the ready. We do see it thrown out, but that's not actually going to stick this time on the Super Pluke. And LG.Loyal already finding 2 kills for their own, and that is going to be a pretty nice fight there for LG.Loyal this time around as they clean up their second. But now Liquid has covered so much distance. After, I mean, they're only up 3-2 at the moment in terms of just fights won and lost, but they just have, oh, Super Pluke in the back with a nice Earth Shatter. Transcendence comes out and it saves the lives here, Jamerson.
Yeah, due diligence. They didn't check that angle, but it's okay. They had the lifeline in to hang with that Transcendence. 4 kills about to go on over to Team Liquid, and now they're making great headway so far. They still got 3 minutes and 19 seconds to work with, but they're starting to enter into a little bit of a power trough here, as a lot of ultimates are coming online for LG.Loyal. They've got that Nano Blade, the self-destruct, but man, take a look at this defensive position. Self-destruct does come out, but everyone will be able to kite away from it. ID, Mezer, all of them just camping that spawn door, just killing them one by one as they try to make their exit right now. It's all down to Olba trying to keep this alive on the payload, but he is going to have to recall away. He gets finished off by ID there. Team Liquid really coming alive here on King's Row. Super Pluke even going to get shattered there, and now Mezer just hammering down the entirety of LG.Loyal. Olba is going to try and get on there, but man, great job coming out from Team Liquid there.
I actually really like the setups that we saw coming out from Liquid. I mean, Shatter 2K was already having a great time on the Genji and was able to shut down Ube a couple times when he made that swap, but he went over to the Roadhog and had just as good, if not better, of a performance on that particular character, was able to find a lot of picks for the team, and on top of that was also able to kind of create some more space for guys like ID, and ID actually had a stellar performance because of that. AZK found a couple of kills, and they were able to do the most with what was essentially a selfless composition, but you know, for most of that, actually Mezer on the Winston just kind of running a weird like half dive, half selfless comp a little bit, just kind of creating some space for ID primarily. But now we're going to be seeing ID going over to that Diva, and they're going to be using that triple tank setup with AZK on the Zarya and Shatter actually on the Soldier at the moment, but AZK might be swapping something up. He's actually going to be going over, okay, he's unsure, but on the side of the attack here, just looking at what they might actually pull out. I imagine we're going to be seeing a traditional dive strategy coming out. We've seen Olba in the past on this Widow, so it's very, very possible that this is the composition that we're going to be seeing when it does actually go to the point opening up there, and we see these teams start the attack. But on the side of the fence, they do have a lot of options here to try to deal with it. You know, of course, they have that Zarya bubble to be able to prevent some of that damage, as well as that Diva to try to prevent a little bit more damage that could potentially come out from guys like Spree, and even Olba to an extent as well, as ID could jump in and basically just kind of run straight at Olba, who's going to have to be using his SMG essentially to set up those kills after the initial maybe couple of headshots if he's able to get them onto ID as he approaches. But nonetheless, it is going to be a dive with that Widowmaker here to start things off for LG.Loyal.
Yeah, Hidan once again going to be on that Zenyatta also. Now, they haven't quite spotted it out. They actually have, and now are backing away, making sure that they're breaking the sight lines. And Shattered 2K, he's starting to get jumped on in the high ground here. 3 members of LG.Loyal onto him, but he will be able to back out to the safety of his team. Now, high ground given up in favor of LG.Loyal as Spree is just trying to pepper them down from above, and it's going to be Team Liquid taking the initiative, jumping onto them. Now, they've already got 3 kills. Oba finally finds 1 onto Shatter, but that might not be enough quite yet. They are just going to go ahead and regroup. Sleep Dart comes out. Oba goes down. AZK will be the one that cleans that up. Now, we do have Ube in the backline trying to draw attention away from that choke point. That's going to allow LG.Loyal to push forward here. And Ube, once again, just getting some free damage off from the top. ID will be able to get back into his mech, though. Now, Ube, in the middle of 4 members, has to use this deflect, has to be careful here as he backs away. It's going to be Shatter with the help of AZK that cleans up Ube. Now, we do have Oba swapping off to that far, and no one's dealt with him quite yet, but they're going to just back away, wait for Super Fluke, and they'll go for another engage.
That was actually stellar play there from AZK. I mean, not only was he able to get a bunch of energy and still maintain it after that fight, and we will see a second fight happening while he still is very high on energy, but he was able to shut down Spree's pulse bomb there onto Mezzer, who was in a pretty bad spot as well. So really good stuff from him to be able to shut that down. And he actually has 100 energy right now, just looking for some kills. Mezzer able to find that onto VLAN. And despite that, Ube still pulls out the Dragon Blade, and he is looking for more. Mezzer backed into a corner here, and they do create that space for the rest of the team. And that looks like we are going to be seeing LG.Loyal finally cap this point out. They only have this D.Va left to contest with, and that is going to be it as LG.Loyal does convert this point. And 2 minutes is going to be pretty much your time here as we see the team pushing forward into the streets and now looking for some more kills and getting aggressive after this point caps up.
All right, a little bit of a slower start on the side of LG.Loyal here, but they finally did cap point A, and already we're seeing Team Liquid pushing on up. Charge comes out for Mezzer. Here's the self-destruct. Not going to quite connect on the side of ID, and once again Oba in the high ground. He's not getting challenged quite yet. He's getting 3 shots off as Mezzer goes for that Earth Shatter. Doesn't connect onto anyone. Ube was actually able to dodge that. Ube has to be careful though. He's facing off against AZK. He will go down. Rafa will finish him off with that right click.
And now the Graviton at the ready here for AZK and Team Liquid, and you better believe they're going to be using it in this archery if they can. And we will see a lot of damage being thrown into that. Shatter going to be able to use that opportunity to try to get some dash resets and get as much damage off as possible to get his Dragon Blade up for the next fight. That's the main setup here. The Graviton does come down. Shatter going to be jumping in and out of that one as he's looking for some more kills. And look at this. He should be able to, if they can clean this up, get himself into a position where he will have Dragon Blade for the next fight. But they still need to find that kill onto Ube. Ube with the Dragon Blade looking for more is going to be able to find Rafa. And that's going to be Shatter coming up with that kill and maybe holding on to this one. But of course, the attacking side with a huge advantage. They will be able to get back onto that one, shut down Shatter, and get this payload moving here.
Man, that entire time, Hidan's orbs, his Discord orbs were on the right targets. As you saw Ube going for that blade, every single target he was trying to focus down. Hidan made sure the orb was on him, and he just was able to get resets after resets until he finally got shut down. But man, Hidan came up huge for his team there on that Zenyatta. Now we have Team Liquid coming in once again. Mezzer jumps right on top of Spree, takes him out of the equation immediately. We do have the Transcendence getting popped by Hidan for now. That's keeping them all alive. Oba doesn't quite connect with that hook. It's going to be Mezzer that finds a second kill onto Vela, and it's all Mezzer in the kill feed as he gets the third onto Ube. Now ID is finally going to contribute as Team Liquid pushes forward, try to finish off Hidan here, and he will get cleaned up. Mezzer on this Winston.
Really, really good performance from him. And like I said, man, throughout this group stage, Mezzer has definitely stepped up. I mean, he's been pretty solid in the past. I mean, we definitely saw him, you know, as Team USA's tank. So, of course, obviously a really strong player. But I think in this group stage, he's definitely, given the fact that the team really seems to be working out, I mean, it's definitely kind of empowered him as a player to be able to make some plays finally here for Team Liquid. But nonetheless, it is going to be LG.Loyal looking like they are going to be able to push this point once again. We do see AZK able to find a kill with that pulse bomb, and he's in the backline right now. Going to be finished off there by Spree, and LG.Loyal now moving this point forward just under 2 minutes here. We might see a contest here before the second point is actually capped up, but we'll have to see if they can get everybody into position. Mezzer right now kind of getting into that spot, and it looks like they are going to jump on. They are going to contest it. Mezzer on the point, throws the barrier down in the back line, does have that Primal Rage, is going to pop it just to stay alive, give a little bit more space. ID going to find that kill with the Helix Rocket, and that's going to be Ube coming up big, but right before Mezzer finds the kill to take him out.
Yeah, we've even got the tactical visor getting popped by ID here. He hasn't found any kills quite yet. That Winston barrier doing a lot of work to try and mitigate that damage. It's going to be Spree coming up for LG.Loyal so far. That's a triple kill for him, finishing that out. And so now there's only 2 minutes and 38 seconds left on the clock for LG.Loyal to try and finish out this map against Team Liquid here. They do have the tools to use. They've got that pulse bomb. They have Oba with the tactical visor now. The only things coming online, they've almost got that nanoblade on the side of Team Liquid, though.
Now it's up to ID to try to shut down Olba here, who is going to be able to utilize that. But we will see Shatter coming alive with that nano boost right onto the Dragon Blade, and he's looking for a kill on Spree. Not going to be able to find it there. And now with the nano boost, does get a little bit more damage off onto Super Fluke. They find that kill, and now they're just going to be trying to clean up. And a nice, I mean, that looked like max distance for that last one. That last little melee hit, but they do find those kills, and that's going to be Team Liquid making yet another stop, and they're already ahead in terms of the time bank here.
Yeah, ID just resetting. He wants to get his mech back, so he will be right back into this fight, but Shatter is just a little bit out of position, knowing his team is respawning. Pulse Bomb does not connect on the side from AZK, and both Lucios will go ahead and use their sound barriers. Oba does have that tactical visor, but ID doing such a great job of just sitting on top of him with that defense matrix, and now they're on the hunt on the side of Team Liquid. Hidon's starting to get focused down just a little bit. He's going to have to go ahead and use that Transcendence as he pushes forward. AZK in the back gets taken out by Spree, and now LG.Loyal are pushing forward. Pulse Bomb comes out, connects onto ID, will demech him, and now Super Fluke with that Primal Rage has two of the supports in the corner. That's going to be an easy cleanup coming up from Ube and Super Fluke.
Now pushing forward, but still they don't have too much time left here, and Shatter was able to do a lot with the Nano Blade last time. They were able to convert that into a one team fight, but maybe this time we'll be able to see LG.Loyal perhaps in a position to try to shut that down, and he does get the nano boost. He's going straight for the Lucio, gets shut down there by Olba though, and that was basically everything that Team Liquid could have done. But nonetheless, Mezzer once again coming alive with this Primal Rage, looking for some more kills. Spree is not letting him have anything here. Ube gonna fall, and Team Liquid looking to make a stand off of this spawn, and again they have such a huge advantage in terms of positioning here, and now moving into this what is going to turn into this last fight. We are certainly going to see some changes. Ube actually going over to the Sombra at the moment. Might switch off. I think he is going to switch back off. Okay, he's going to go back over to the Genji, and now we will see Olba at the moment going over to the Diva. He was on the Roadhog just then, and no team going to have really any ultimates other than Spree here, so he's going to be in charge of either getting a DMech onto ID or trying to shut down these supports in the backline. We'll have to see what he decides to do with Pulse Bomb at the ready. He's looking for an opportunity here, and it's all going to come down to this. Spree needs to land this Pulse Bomb here.
But Ube coming in, he's got that double kill already. They have the sound barrier, they have the Primal Rage, they've got a lot of ultimates just to try and close this out. But ID is going to try and stall for as long as he possibly can. He's so far away from that self-destruct to try and stall out, though. He's going to get DMEC'd and taken out by Super Fluke. Now, it is in overtime as we do have the respawns coming in. Now they're starting to focus now one by one. That was the pulse bomb committed. And oh no, Ube just dashes right into Shatter. He does finally clean him up, and it's going to be Super Fluke to close out this map. But unfortunately, this is a hybrid-style map. Team Liquid finished it out with 2 minutes and 38 seconds. And because they took it in overtime, LG.Loyal, they're not going to have an opportunity here to go for the attack.
So 2:38 on the time bank here for Liquid to try to make this a fourth point for them. And I mean, they were able to pull it out in that time the last time we saw them on attack. So certainly LG.Loyal are going to have to switch a lot of things up to try to adapt and make some plays and be able to shut this down and make it a tie. I'm not actually sure what the tiebreaker map is, but if this does go into a tie, we will have to go into a tiebreaker. I'm pretty sure it's a control map.
I think it's Ilios.
Is it Ilios?
I think the joke was we have Ilios in the pool and the tiebreaker is Ilios.
We'll have to see if that's the case. I mean, I mean, it certainly might be, but we'll have to see. As it is 3-3 right now, 2:38 on the time bank. I imagine that Liquid's going to be able to pull this one out. I think it's going to be pretty close, but we'll have to see. I mean, Olba definitely did some pretty good stuff already with that Roadhog in the past. And again, we were talking about how this team has two Roadhog players here, so just flexing that, showing off their versatility with Ube actually going to be going over to the Genji. So running a little bit of a, I guess, a Chav strat, now Hammer's esports strat, I guess you could call it, with a 3 tank with the sole DPS actually going to be a Genji, and then Spree actually going to be on a Diva here to try to combat the potential Widow that can come out from ID, and that is going to be the case. But a nice sleep dart into Shatter 2K there, and he then gets taken out!
The bait. That was just the bait, right? So, ID was just that follow-up damage as Hedon tried to go for that final kill. But yeah, great job coming out so far. Team Liquid now with the huge man advantage. Hedon not there, and that's the bulk of the healing against this tank composition.
Oh, no.
As Mezer is able to force that D-Mech out, and now everything just falling apart for LG.Loyal. Team Liquid on the verge of taking this 2-0 victory. 1 tick on the board, 2 ticks on the board, and they say Velen crashed.
Yeah, I saw that. He just stood still a little bit. I mean, they had, let's be realistic, they were losing that point either way, but a little unfortunate that at the very end Velen actually crashed there. But still, solid performance from these guys so far. We'll have to see as things progress. But now Liquid with that 2-0 have moved on now, and they are sitting at 4-1 in the standings at the moment.
Yeah, so they secure that 2nd place spot now after that victory. So they're right behind Rogue. And now here's the difficult thing for LG.Loyal. This is their doubleheader day. They're facing off against Rogue next. Their day just got from bad to worse at this point. Also dealing with, it looks like, computer issues. Everything just working against LG.Loyal right now.
But now moving into their 2nd match, they're going to be going up against Rogue. That's going to be an even tougher matchup than Liquid, who did just wind up 2-0ing them. And we will have to see if LG.Loyal is going to be able to come back and make a very stellar performance to try to upset Rogue, who have been looking insanely strong so far throughout this group stage, and I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. So if we do actually look over at the standings right now, we can see that it's updated at the moment, and we do as well see that it is Rogue sitting atop things currently at 4-0 in that 1st place setting, and we will see them going up against LG.Loyal next. I imagine we'll be seeing Rogue winning this one, which will take them to 5-0 if that is the case, and LG.Loyal falling to 2-3, which will essentially still secured them, I think. Looking back at their matchups.
Looking at the map differential, it looks good for them. They're 5-3 right now.
Right.
Throughout all their play, Temple Storm and FaZe Clan 4-7 and 3-6. So even if they lose 2 maps, the map differential just kind of weighs out in their favor, I think. As long as they take at least 1 map off of.
Because Tempo Storm,
this is gonna be very difficult. Yeah.
Tempo Storm did beat them, so if it comes into even like a head-to-head kind of scenario, then Tempo Storm does have that over them. But obviously, a lot left to determine, as these 2 games, these 2 last games, still need to be played to even have that discussion at the moment. But moving into this next matchup, it is going to be Rogue versus LG.Loyal. We're just going to be basically just kind of waiting to get Rogue in the lobby. But as soon as everything is ready to go, we'll have that match for you guys, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.